Welcome to Radical Self-Worth, the podcast where healing is intentional, transformation is personal, and freedom from narcissistic abuse is your reality. Here we dive deep into reclaiming your power, breaking the chains of toxic relationships, and rewriting your story, one bold healing step at a time. Together we'll explore the tools, wisdom, and strategies to not just survive, but thrive. If you're ready to heal your heart, shift your mindset, and create a life built on self-worth, peace, and limitless possibilities, then you're in the right place. It's time to rise. It really is. It's time to heal, and it's time to live your truth. This is Radical Self-Worth. I am Jeremy Renee. Let's begin. All right. Well, welcome back to the Radical Self-Worth podcast. I am your host, Jeremy Renee, and today we're diving into a powerful topic, reclaiming your narrative. If you've ever felt trapped in a story that wasn't truly yours, if guilt and shame have kept you from embracing your full power, then this episode is for you. Because here's the truth. You are not what happened to you. You are what you chose to become. And today we're talking about how to not just rewire, but rewrite your story by embracing radical self-worth, setting unshakable boundaries, and finally letting go of guilt and shame. Let's get into it. Number one, the power of reclaiming your narrative. Think about the story that you've been telling yourself. Maybe it's been shaped by trauma, by what others have said about you, or by the expectations that were placed on you before you even had a say. But what if I told you that you have the power to edit, revise, and completely rewrite that story? Reclaiming your narrative means no longer allowing past wounds to define your future. Understanding that self-worth is not up for debate. It's your birthright. And making peace with your past while stepping boldly into your future. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on this. I want you to pause for a second. Ask yourself, what's a belief that I've been carrying about myself that no longer serves me? If I were to rewrite my story today, what would my new chapter say? Jot it down. Take a note. Get a pen. Get a paper. This is where the magic of alchemy begins. Now, embracing radical self-worth is just this. Radical self-worth means owning your value without waiting for external validation. It's about knowing that you are worthy just as you are without proving, performing, or pleasing. But let's be real. Society doesn't always make this easy. If you've survived narcissistic abuse, toxic relationships, or environments that made you feel like you had to earn love, then reclaiming your worth is a revolutionary act. Here's how to start. Number one, reprogram your inner dialogue. Start by speaking to yourself with love and kindness. You would give start by giving yourself, speaking to yourself with love and kindness, the same way that you would give to your best friend. Number two, stop explaining yourself. Your worth does not require an explanation, period. Number three, practice self-validation. Your feelings, experiences, and intuition are real. Trust them. Now, number three is probably one of the most important things in this segment. And it's setting boundaries as a form of self-respect. Now, you cannot reclaim your narrative without setting boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are standards. They are how you teach people how to treat you. And let's be honest, if you've been conditioned to be a people pleaser like I have, setting boundaries might feel uncomfortable at first. But discomfort doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It means you're growing. Here are 3 boundary setting affirmations to hold on to. No is a complete sentence. I do not have to set myself on fire to keep others warm. I have the right to protect my peace. Boundaries are an act of self-love. And when you love yourself enough to set them, you stop shrinking to fit places you've outgrown. I'm going to say that again. Boundaries are an act of self-love. And when you love yourself enough to set them, you stop shrinking to fit places you've outgrown. Ponder on that a minute. I said a lot right there. Now, you guys, I'm just going to tell you a quick story because this has been something for me that has been the hardest thing I have ever had to do in my entire life. And I felt so much shame surrounding it. I felt so much guilt surrounding it, as if I was doing something wrong. And we are conditioned to believe that self-love is selfish. And I'm going to break that conditioning right now in this podcast. Because if you do not love yourself, I can guarantee you that someone else will take what belongs to you because you don't know how to treat yourself. Number 4, releasing guilt and shame. Didn't I just say that? One of the biggest roadblocks to reclaiming your story is guilt and shame. Guilt says, I did something bad. Shame says, I am bad. But listen, you're not your past mistakes. You're allowed to grow beyond them. The version of you that accepted less than you deserve didn't know what you know now. Forgive them, thank them, and move forward. Here's the radical truth. Healing doesn't mean pretending the past never happened. It means no longer letting it define you. Now, I'm going to close with this statement. Reclaiming your story starts now. Your story is yours to tell. Not your past, not your pain, not the people who tried to dim your light. So today I challenge you. Write your next chapter with intention. Make it a story of power, self-love, and boundaries that honor who you are becoming. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with somebody who needs to hear it. Let's continue this conversation. Drop a comment, DM me, or share your own story of reclaiming your narrative. Until next time, keep alchemizing, keep rising, and remember, you are the author of your own story. Thank you again for joining me on this journey of radical self-worth. Remember, every step that you take towards healing, no matter how small, is a step toward the life you deserve. One filled with peace, purpose, and unshakable self-worth. If today's episode resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe, leave a review, and leave a comment, and share this podcast with someone who might need a little bit of light on their path. Let's build a community of strength and healing together. Until next time, keep honoring your worth, trust your journey, and creating your reality, one empowered choice at a time. This is Radical Self-Worth. I am Jeremia Renee, and you are unstoppable.